At the end of the first quarter and in the beginning of the second quarter of 2015, construction of tubing casing began in the shafts of future Ust-Yavinsky mine. At this moment, tubings are being installed at the first shaft. Mining operations came to a stop. 2 tubing rings have already been mounted. Concrete is poured. Water seal plate is installed. Picotage joint is punched and chemical water seal is poured in. Expert teams have begun tubing mounting.
На втором стволе там у нас как раз были изменения из-за геологии. Нам пришлось там пересматривать, скажем так, компоновку гидроизоляционных, комплекс гидроизоляции для будущего ствола. То есть там смонтировали.
At the second shaft, we had some changes caused by geology. Waterproof unit configuration had to be revised for the future shaft. We will mount 2 traditional water seal curbs and 2 chemical rings. We withdrew from the project due to occurrence of rocks at the second shaft. We have mounted 7 tubing rings down there, installed water seal curbs, punched 1 picotage joint. After that, we filled in the first chemical ring. Now we perform rock millings to install the second water seal curb and punching of picotage joint. Afterwards, the second chemical ring will be filled in.
Второго килькранца и пробитие пикотажного шва, и после него будет залито второе химическое кольцо.
Water seal curb is a waterproof foundation for tubing lining, keyed shaft set. According to the standard technology, water seal curb is a cast iron ring. Oak chocks of picotage joint should be blocked up to ensure sealing between ring and the salt bed. This is a very laborious process because the chocks are blocked up manually by miners by a sledgehammer weighing from 5 to 8 kilograms. First, the metal chock should be blocked up. When it will be removed, wooden chock will be plugged into this cavity. Before a metal chock, so-called sinker, is plugged in, 2 miners plug it with a sledgehammer. It takes at least 80 sledgehammer beats performed by each miner to plug it in. This is a most time-consuming process. And it is a remarkable example to demonstrate just how hard and impervious picotage is. Even steel, special punch steel, is deformed. In our country, this type of water seal curb is applied only in the mines of Uralkali. Another know-how developed specifically for the project of Ust-Yavinsky mine is chemical water seal. Experts at Daumenhanyo Shock Destroy used refined solution due to geology peculiarities at this facility.
Also der chemische Kalkbrand besteht aus 4 Komponenten, wo ein Teil über Tage zusammen.
Chemical water seal consists of 4 parts. One part of it is poured at the surface. Another part is poured directly down at the bottom. Chemical water seal main function is the same as that of the wooden ring made in Russia. As you know, woods expand when absorbing moisture, so the same thing happens with a chemical water seal ring. It expands when it gets wet. So when we pour it at the surface, the chemical water seal is liquid enough. Not as liquid as water, but enough to pour it. But after about an hour or 2, chemical water seal rings take a form that you see now. It is quite hard. You can touch it, and it takes this particular form. We have already filled in the chemical water seal rings up to 1 meter. Afterwards, we will install a wooden ring, and then we will fill it with chemicals again.
Wir bereiten jetzt gerade den zweiten Holzkalkkranz vor, und über dem zweiten Holzkranz kommt nochmal eine kleine.
The use of chemical water seal at the territory of Ust-Yavinsky mine is dictated by complex geology at the second shaft and experts' will to provide a decent level of object waterproofing. The combination of standard technologies and chemical developments make it possible to achieve the desired level of security.
Для гидроизоляции стволов, то есть на первом-втором стволе на сегодня,
Today, 2 water seal rings and 2 chemical rings have been installed at the first and second shaft to waterproof shafts. The quality of work depends directly on waterproofing of the shaft not to allow the brine to go below the required level.
Пошел ниже необходимой отметки.
Будем надеяться, что с одной стороны не будет возможности, скажем так, сравнивать.
Well, let's hope that from one side there will be no case to compare, that there will be no water, no brine in a shaft to use water seal rings. Well, as international experience shows, everywhere, even in Russia, traditional water seal technology is rejected. At Uralkali, they are right not to hurry up to abandon the traditional technology, because after all, it is the rock salt, which is eroded very quickly. And water is the biggest enemy for potash and salt mines.
И вода – это большой враг для калийного и соляного рудника.
Once water seal rings are installed, the next step will be to assemble tubing rings at both shafts. In the near future, the company's specialists plan to complete tubing casing.